Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? Can everyone hear me okay? I don't quite hear much coming from it. It's low? Testing? Testing, testing. You guys can hear me? Okay. I didn't hear it echoing out there, so I was like, I don't think it's on. Perfect. How's everyone doing today? My name is Daniel, and my pronouns are he and him, and I'm so glad to see you all today. I hope everyone's having a wonderful morning. It's great to see that the bad weather can't keep people away from here, and it certainly can't keep us from having a good time. So I'm so glad to be here once again with all of you. We're going to go ahead and move right into our 8 Principles video.
The Unitarian Universalist Church of Pensacola, the 8 Principles.
Number 1, the inherent worth and dignity of every person.
Number 2, justice, equity, and compassion in human relation.
Number 3, acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregation.
Number 4, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning.
Number 5, the right of conscience and the use of democratic process within our congregation and in society at large.
Number 6, the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all.
Number 7, respect for the interdependent web of existence,
of which we are all a part.
Number 8, active commitment to dismantle racism and other oppression in ourselves and our institutions.
So, this is the Unitarian Universalist Church of Pensacola. I assume we all know that we're, here. I didn't state that at the beginning, but I wanted to make sure that I did say that and welcome our guests that are here today. It's a great day, and it's wonderful to see all of your faces for the first time, and I hope we continue to see more of you. I'd like to take just a second here and remind everyone to go ahead and silence any devices that they may have. And we are going to go ahead and do our announcements now, of which I have a small stack, so bear with me. Help us find our next amazing team member. Hey everyone, we're 5 months into our search for a new child care provider to support honor and CRE classes. And while we've had some great prospects, we've unfortunately lost touch along the way. But we're not giving up. Let's keep the momentum going. We'd love for you to help us spread the word. Pick up a flyer or 2 to share with your community, or head over to our Facebook page or website for more details. We're looking for someone who's the perfect fit for both us and them, and we can't wait to find that special person to join our team. Thank you for being a part of this journey with us. We also have the CRE Parents Meeting, which will be located in the UUC Library, which is right over the front room there. Sunday, April 6th at 11:30 a.m. Please make sure that you RSVP to Laura Keith King. She has a number on here. I'm sure it's posted so that we can get it, and that's her waving her hand right there. On March 16th, 23rd, and 30th, so just the 30th, Carolyn is a member of UCP. Carolyn Toxen will be leading a 30-minute meditation at noon in Studio 228 every Friday. Studio 228 is in the Old Sacred Heart Hospital on the 2nd floor. There will be a second-hour presentation on our church bylaws after the Sunday service on Sunday, April 6th. An ad hoc committee appointed by the UUCP Governing Board has been working the last several months on revising our bylaws. The committee members will be walking through the proposed revisions during today's second hour, or that day's second hour, because I believe that says April 6th. Take me out to the Blue Wahoos game. Sunday, April 27th at 1 p.m. Tickets are $17. You can sign up by Sunday, April 20th in the lobby or online. For details, please see Mary Beth Ramsey, and there she is in the back, hand up. Great little fellowship building event. Now, we are going to move on to the lighting of our chalice and our opening words for the day. Laura Keith King will be joining me to help light the chalice. Yes. I'll give instructions after service. Thank you. Jack and Kate's party is going to be directly after the service, or just a few minutes after the service, and Mary Beth Ramsey will be coming up directly after the service to give some instructions on how that's going to happen. Thank you. And moving on to the lighting of the chalice and opening words. Suicide, a sideways word, a word that people whisper, mutter, and cough, a word that must be squeezed out behind cup palms or murmured behind closed doors. It was only in my dreams that I heard the word shouted and screamed. Lauren Oliver. We'll have a little centering music now, please. Thank you. We will now move on to the reading of our covenant. If you would please stand as you're willing and able, we will read it and remain standing for the opening hymn. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. If the choir would now join me, we will be moving to hymn number 95 in the gray hymnal, There is More Love Somewhere. That is number 95, There is More Love Somewhere. Thank you. We will now be moving on to the section of our service known as Joys and Sorrows. This section is not recorded and put online, unlike the rest of our service. This is our time as a church to come together and express what's in our hearts. If everyone would please line up on the left and right, and we will light a candle for all our joys and sorrows, and we will light the first one for those that we hold in our hearts unspoken. into the time for all ages. This is the part of our service where we just have a little something that, everyone of all ages can enjoy that relates to the message for the day.
You've Got Dragons, a book by Catherine Cave, illustrated by Nick Mayland. Dragons show up when you least expect them. You turn around, and there they are. Am I dreaming, you wonder? And you pinch yourself hard, but you're not. Your heart thuds and your knees wobble, and your hands shake and your head whirls, and you feel hot and cold, and you can't breathe, and your stomach hurts, and you can't believe it's really happening to you, but it really is. You've got dragons. You've never had dragons before. You're not sure what to do. You say to yourself, why me? Why am I the one to get dragons? Was it something I did? I've been bad sometimes, but not that bad. And mostly I'm good. I've never been bad enough to deserve this. You're right. Nobody deserves dragons. You certainly don't. You didn't get them because you were bad. All these people have dragons, and they are really, really good. Dragons are scary, so you try to pretend yours isn't there, but it is. Pretending a dragon isn't there is very hard work. You keep checking to see if it's still there. You have to check in all sorts of places. Sometimes you think it really isn't there, but it is. Pretending a huge, great, enormous dragon isn't there is exhausting. So sooner or later, you stop pretending. Then you say, okay, it's there, but it isn't a dragon, it's a mouse. Who's afraid of a mouse? But that's some mouse. Look at its shadow. That mouse looks just like a dragon. Deep down, you know it's a dragon. You're still scared. Once you've got dragons, you can't get away from them. They pop up all the time. When you wake up, when you brush your teeth, when you go to school, when you eat lunch, when you walk home, when you play games, when you turn on the television, and when you go to bed, when you turn off the lights, especially when you turn off the light. So sometimes you leave it on. You don't want to think about dragons, but you do all the time. How do you spell cat? D-R-A-G-O-N. Big, bigger, dragon-sized. Who are you? A dragon. 2 + 2 = 4 dragons. 2 × 6 = 12 dragons. You make silly mistakes because of dragons. What is this? A dragon. You worry that people won't understand. If you try to explain, they might think you're weird, so you don't say anything. Dragons make everything complicated. Sometimes people try to talk to you about them when you don't want to talk. So, how's the old dragon, Or sometimes when you do want to talk, they're too busy, or they don't want to listen, or they don't understand, or they want to do all the talking. Let me tell you about my dragon. Sometimes you feel like you're burning up inside. You want to shout at the dragon, go away. You like to stomp on it and kill it. But you need very big shoes. It seems so much bigger than you. Sometimes you get cold and shivery and you don't want to be alone. Can I have a hug? When you've got dragons, you need lots of hugs. Soon you are the world's greatest expert on having dragons. By popular demand, Ben's advice column. Dear Ben, I want to run away from my dragon. What kind of training should I do? I am 6 years old. Do I need special shoes? If so, please tell me where I can get pink ones. Sincerely, Sophie. Dear Sophie, special shoes and training won't help. Take it from me. Dragons are too fast to run away from. Yours, Ben. Dear Ben, I have been trying to hide from my dragons for 43 years, 8 months, and 4 days. Can you recommend a foolproof hiding place? Hopefully, Dad. Dear Dad, try under the stairs. It's more comfortable than under the bed. I always wondered what you were doing there. Your loving son, Ben. P.S. Say hi to your dragons when they find you. They will. Dear Ben, I got dragons last month when we moved to our new house. Now my tummy hurts every morning. Is this normal? I also have purple spots on my tongue. What do you suggest I do? Anxiously, Dave. Dear Dave, in answer to your letter, 1, yes. 2, stop chewing on your marker. It makes your teeth purple too. Your friend, Ben. Ben's top tips for what to do when you've got dragons. Give your dragon your full attention at least once a day. Dragons get bigger when they're ignored. Greetings, honorable dragon. Greetings, honorable Ben. 2, really get to know your dragon. Give it a name. What sort of dragon is it? Look at it hard, then draw a picture of it. This is Montgomery, my math test dragon. He is dark red with orange claws and small green spots on his chest. 3, if you make your dragon laugh, it might get smaller. Try telling it jokes. 4, talk with someone else about your dragon. And remember to get plenty of hugs. Ask for one now. This is Montgomery, eating my math teacher. You won't have dragons forever. You think you will, but you won't. You ignore your dragon, and you run away from them, and you hide from them, and you pretend that they're not there, and you shout at them, and you don't want to turn out the lights, and you pay attention to them, and you tell them jokes, and you can't think of anything else, and then suddenly, something feels different. Dragons leave when you least expect them to. You wake up and they're gone. Yours it really is, after all your hard work, your dragon is gone. Congratulations, great job, hooray. And now you'll know what to do the next time you get dragons. Dragon wisdom. On your way to the world, keep your eyes wide open. Dragons come in all shapes and sizes. They don't all look the same. They don't all look like dragons. They don't all mean us harm. Honor the dragons that you meet and learn from them. They are not as powerful as you think. No dragon is more powerful than you.
We will now go ahead and sing our children out for their religious studies and their time. If you will please join me. Go now in peace, go now in joy. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. We will now move on to the offertory. Since this is a Fifth Sunday, and we do have a Fifth Sunday speaker, since this is the Fifth Sunday, and we do have a Fifth Sunday speaker, she is here with EscaRosa Suicide Prevention, and the offertory today will go towards their organization. So, yes, we have some music prepared for us by Mike and the choir, I believe. So we will enjoy that as the baskets go around. We will be moving on to the message now. I would like to, if I may, introduce Rachelle Burns. She has been working for 13 years in suicide prevention, and she is with the EscaRosa Suicide Prevention Coalition, I believe. Yes, Coalition. She is friends and co-workers with our Dr. Lauren Anzaldo, and so if you would, please join me in welcoming Rachelle Burns up.
Good morning. It's so good to be here. It is a delight and an honor and a privilege and a blessing. And I thank you for inviting me to speak. I'm going to go ahead and start my timer so I'm not talking while you're wishing you were having lunch. Keep to my limit. So put my eyes on so I can see. So just a little bit about me. Some of you might be wondering about the accent. I do like to tell people I don't have an accent. You guys are the ones with the accent. But I am originally from the south of England. But I've been here a long time. Pensacola has actually been home originally since 1991 for me. I went back to the UK for a period of time, and most recently came back about 23 years ago, and I'm very thankful to call Pensacola my home. I do want to give you a little background on the coalition, the Suicide Prevention Coalition that we run locally. I started out this journey in mental health with a master's in marriage and family therapy, but I didn't go into the field. I didn't become licensed because at the time I needed a job. I'm going to put my glasses down so I can see you and read. I really need progressives, but I haven't, or bifocals, and I haven't gone for it, so we'll just have to do that, and I'll look like a librarian. I worked at Pensacola State College for a long time. That's where I know Lynn from, and and Georgiana. I'm so happy. I love to see wonderful people I know. I'm so thankful. I'm very blessed to have worked at PSC. I loved it. And there's Lori. It's so good to see you. Another PSC, folks. I love it. And while I was there, the college received a grant for suicide prevention and mental health. And I was able to and had the privilege of helping to implement that grant while I was there. And that was really what, in 2012, that was what opened my eyes to the need for suicide prevention work in the community, because we had it on campus, but what I saw was that there wasn't a coordinated effort in the community. And so with the support and help of the college, I was allowed to start a local community coalition. So it was incubated while I was at Pensacola State College. And I was very honored that they allowed me to have 2 AmeriCorps Vistas. So for those of you who don't know what AmeriCorps is, it's like the Peace Corps, but in the US. And VISTA stands for Volunteer in Service to America. So I had one volunteer 1 year and then another one for 1 year. And they helped me start the coalition, which was a huge blessing. And so in 2018 is when we actually started the coalition. And in 2021, we realized we needed to incorporate as a nonprofit because there was so much need in the community, and in order to continue to grow in our impact, we needed to become a nonprofit. So let me state and share with you our bold vision for the Suicide Prevention Coalition in the community. Our vision is to eliminate suicide in Escambia and Santa Rosa counties. So I do want to say that I know some people go, oh, that's never going to happen. But you know, if you don't have a bold vision, you're not reaching for it. And that is what we hope to do eventually. And I believe it's possible. I do want to say something that I should have started by saying, and that is that suicide is something that touches all of us in some way or another, whether we have had suicidal thoughts ourselves, whether we've attempted, whether we have loved ones who have done so, or perhaps lost someone to suicide. And so I want you to take care of yourself this morning. If you're struggling or if it's hard for you to hear my message, which actually is one of hope, but I do want to make sure that you take care of yourself. If you're struggling, please feel free to step out. Don't feel that you have to sit here and endure any pain or struggle that you might have. But I would ask for those of you that see someone in the congregation leave, if one of you, maybe a family or a friend, would just leave with them and just check on them and make sure that they're okay. And if you're leaving and you're okay, just give someone around you the thumbs up so that they don't need to worry about following you. But we do want to make sure that we take care of one another today. So our mission as the coalition is that we are community stakeholders working together to transform our community by eliminating suicide. How do we do this? Through raising awareness, increasing knowledge and skills, and implementing strategic interventions. We're not a direct service organization. The coalition is here to improve local infrastructure, to help individuals and organizations grow in their ability to address suicide and to help reduce and eliminate it. It's not that we won't help people if they contact us, but that's not our primary purpose. Our primary purpose is to create a community where we can make a difference in helping those who may be struggling. So I'm just going to give you a brief feel for kind of who we are and what we do, and then I'm going to talk about ways that you can be engaged in the mission to prevent suicide. Because as my title for today's message was Everyone Can Prevent Suicide, I wanted to be able to make sure that you leave feeling equipped and with a call to action. So there are now over 100 different organizations who are connected with our organization as part of the coalition, and individuals, so you don't have to be part of an organization. We started out with about 30, and we have grown, but I would say that we probably still have about 30 who are at the core of the organization, as with many organizations. And the important part of us being a coalition is that we are collaborating. And collaborating means leveraging resources. It means that we're better together, just as I know that you know that about being part of this congregation. You're better because you're part of the organization. We meet monthly, virtually most of the time, but we do have 2 meetings a year in July and December where we meet in person as well as virtual. And after COVID, I wasn't able to get everybody back together every month, which was very sad to me. But so I compromised and I said, right, twice a year, minimum, we have to get together in person and we meet and have a potluck and conduct our meeting. But we do meet virtually. So it's possible for anyone, as long as you have the time, on a Tuesday, the first Tuesday of the month. So April 1st coming up. And no, that's not a joke or an April Fool's. It really is April 1st, the first Tuesday of the month from 12:30 to 2. We have 3 task forces within the organization to focus on specific challenges or populations. So we have a youth task force addressing youth suicide prevention. We have a veterans task force addressing veteran suicide prevention. And we have what we call community engagement. Because we're a 100% volunteer organization, we don't have any employed staff. We all give of our time. We recognize that we need to make an impact in the community in our engagement, and so we have this task force that helps us do that. And we do have a 4th task force pending. We're getting ready, I think in June, to have an interest group meet around lived experience. So those that have struggled with suicidal ideation or have experienced attempts or have had family members or loved ones who have experienced attempts or suicidal thoughts or behaviors or have perhaps died by suicide, so if a lost survivor. And so we're hoping to get some folks together in that space so we could create a task force. There are support groups for those that have lost loved ones to suicide. So this isn't really a support group per se, although I think it will provide support. But this is really designed to help those that have lived experience to make an impact and to take action in this community. So how do we raise awareness? Well, one of the ways we do it is, I just mentioned, community engagement. So that's one of the ways. We table at events. We have resources, which funnily enough, I forgot to bring. I intended to bring resources today so that you would have some. But the good news is I know Lauren will be back here soon, and she has all those same resources, so I'm going to ask her if she would bring them back if you don't already have those. And we'll talk a little bit more specifically in a few moments about what those resources might be. We also share resources through our website and through social media. And then how do we increase knowledge and skills? The main way, although we do use social media and our website for that, the main way that we do that is through organizing trainings. We as a coalition don't provide those trainings directly, but all of our partners, those partners within our organization who offer trainings, do that. And we have I'll talk about this more in a moment, but we have ways that you can connect with what trainings are available in the community if you're interested in being trained. And then the third thing, how do we implement strategic interventions? We use social media campaigns, we use billboard campaigns, we do large projects that I'm going to tell you more about in a moment, called the Crisis Text Line and Crisis Intercept Mapping for service members, veterans, and their families. So just a very few accomplishments. You know, we've been around since 2018 and it's now 2025, so we've done quite a lot, especially considering that we're a 100% volunteer organization. And so I'm just going to touch on a few things that we've done just to give you a sense of who we are. So I mentioned the Crisis Text Line. The Crisis Text Line is a confidential 24/7 resource. You can text any word, really, to 741-741 to connect with a crisis counselor. But our word, we have a key word for our community, and that is GULF, G-U-L-F. And it doesn't indicate to anybody who you are. It just lets them know that you're in the Florida Panhandle somewhere, and that provides us with some data related to who's texting, what issues are they texting about, and some other demographics to help us to be able to know how to target strategic resources for the community. We also have supported the start of several loss survivor groups, so and we have info on those on our website. We also, in 2020, began a social justice and equity journey because we recognized the importance of that and the importance of doing that in the field of suicide prevention and making sure that we were being equitable in our work and making sure that we were including all marginalized populations and making sure everyone's voice was heard at the table. We also engage in advocacy locally and at the state and national levels. September, for those of you that don't know, is Suicide Prevention Month. So every September we have a focus on additional specific events and messaging that we want to get out there to help individuals and the community. So, for example, we do local government declarations. We ask the city and the counties to do declarations about Suicide Prevention Month. We've done things like have the S-Word documentary. If none of you have ever seen that, it's a great documentary produced by someone with lived experience. And we showed that around the community, and we provided panels to talk about the challenges that people were experiencing. We've had a gun locks project with local pawn shops so that they would be able to hand out gun locks with firearms if they were selling firearms. We've supported the United Way of West Florida as our local 988 center. So this is one of the resources, and you may have heard it. Just out of interest, how many of you know about 988 already, just by show of hands? Okay, well, I'm thankful for those that know about it, but let me tell you that we have a 3-digit number, just like 911, that is specifically for behavioral health crises or concerns. If you or a loved one have, and you don't have to be suicidal, if you're just having a mental health or emotional challenge and you need to reach out, you can call 988. The wonderful thing is it's a national number, but it will connect you locally. So there's a local group at United Way trained in suicide prevention who work to help people who are struggling. So just know that that resource is available. We also engaged in the Crisis Intercept Mapping project. So SAMHSA, Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration at the federal level provided us with technical assistance, no funds, unfortunately, but that's okay. They gave us technical assistance to start this project called Crisis Intercept Mapping for Service Members, Veterans, and their Families. And that was an amazing gift because we have been reaching out into the community, putting things into place, and Lauren is very involved in that, so if you have more questions about that project, please feel free to talk to her. And I'm running out of time, so I'm going to switch from all the things that we did, and I can't even get to the few things that I did right, because I want to share with you what are some ways that you can engage in suicide prevention. And I want to say, you know, I get asked this question, you believe it or not, all the time. Can we really save lives? Yes. The answer is yes, an astounding affirmative yes. We absolutely can. Please don't believe the myths. There are a lot of myths out there. Most people won't take their own life if they can't use the means that they've been considering. The myth connected to that is that someone's going to find a way to die regardless of what you do to help them, even if their preferred means doesn't work. That is not true. So that means that anything that we can do to delay someone, because suicide, intense suicidality is usually a brief window, and if we can keep someone alive, and we call it alive for now, we keep them alive through that window, then we have the opportunity to intervene in the long term. They're not necessarily going to look for a way to die otherwise. Take any mention of suicide seriously. If someone talks about it, that does mean that they are considering it. Sometimes there's a myth out there that says that, well, if they talk about it, they're not actually going to do it. Also, take it seriously, even if you think perhaps they might be seeking attention. You know, they might be. It means they need it. So please take it seriously. Also, someone considers suicide, and Nancy mentioned this earlier, and I'm so thankful for this. Someone considers suicide when their emotional pain outweighs their resources for coping with that pain. It is not a selfish thought or a selfish act. That's also a myth that's very prevalent in our culture. So what can you do? Well, kind of at the macro or mezzo level, you can get involved. You can get involved with the Suicide Prevention Coalition. You can attend our monthly meetings and see what we're doing. You can join one of our task forces. You can volunteer to staff a table at events, or you can donate. And by the way, I want to thank the church and those of you that are or have donated. Thank you so much, because we do rely completely on donations or grants, which we don't get a lot of because we're too busy doing the work, so we don't get to apply for them very often. So we do appreciate those donations. They make a big difference. And on the micro level, as individuals, I encourage you to learn the warning signs for someone who may be at risk for suicide. There are lots of places you can find those. SAMHSA has them on their website, the Suicide Prevention Resource Center. If you just put in warning signs for suicide, you will be connected to a website that will give you those. You probably will also get a message, thankfully, from Google that will say, if you're struggling, call 988. I'm very thankful for that they are taking it seriously and being responsible. You can take a suicide prevention training. So one of the things I mentioned earlier is that we'd created a training options guide. So on our website, under the resources page, I think it actually says Get Help, the Get Help page. At the bottom, we have a document that actually Lauren and I both helped put together that has information on all the kinds of trainings available related to suicide prevention. Most of them are free and virtual. And it tells you in that list what's available. And we have them at the basic, intermediate, and advanced levels. So anyone can join wherever they are and get that training. And then I encourage you to ask someone that you're concerned about if they're having thoughts of suicide. If you're concerned about them, you're not going to give them the idea by asking them. That also is a myth. There's usually ambivalence. When someone is struggling with thoughts of suicide, our natural human instinct is to survive. We don't necessarily really want to die, but the pain, remember, is overwhelming. So please ask someone. I want to tell you very briefly, I actually got a call this week from a lady from my church who had a friend who was concerned about, she thought that she might be having thoughts of suicide, and she called me because she didn't know what to do. And I was so thankful that she did. And what I told her is what I'm going to tell you. I gave her the resources, 988, the crisis text line, and the local mobile response team. There's another great resource. They come to you. I also told her, you are the most important resource that person could have. You are the connection. You are the help. The gatekeeper is what we call it, to other resources. But just your presence and your compassion and your care is what could help keep someone alive. Just let them know that you care about them. You know, I tell people on the continuum of suicide prevention acts, a smile can be suicide prevention. Asking someone if they're struggling, if they're having thoughts of suicide, even though it's a little scary, sometimes I think to ask that can be suicide prevention. So, can you prevent suicide? Yes, absolutely you can. Show your care, be there for that person, educate yourself, get some suicide prevention training, get involved in our coalition, be part of the solution, and together we can eliminate suicide in our community. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. We will move on to our closing hymn, which will be hymn number 6, Just as Long as I Have Breath. Again, that is hymn number 6, Just as Long as I Have Breath. Our closing words are from Ralph Waldo Emerson. When it is darkest, we can see the stars. We will now hear what Mary Beth has to say before we go now in peace.
Thanks, everyone. Hi, if you're staying for Jack and Kate's See You Soon party, which I hope you will because we have lots of good food, there's a couple things I need your help with. First, there is a guest book on the credenza. If you haven't already signed that, a loving note to them, please do so. Just next to that is a photo booth. We're going to, spoiler alert, put together a good digital photo album for them. So I'm going to have my camera set up, and there's instructions on there. So take plenty of pictures for them to stare at forever. And then just next to that is a little, a thumbprint love type of thing. It's 2 t-shirts that we've made for them. And we're going to make balloons, hot air balloon kind of things, with our thumbprints, and they can wear those t-shirts forever. And so there's instructions on that too, but make sure you put your thumbprint on there so they know that, we're there with them always. But first, okay, so I think that's that. First, let's go ahead and give them a big toast. So Michael, as we speak, is pouring some champagne. For those of you who don't want to drink, we also have some yummy punch. It's just ginger ale and sherbet. So grab you a beverage in the conference room, and then once we all have glasses, we'll make a quick toast to Jack and Kate, and then we can dig in and do the little activities. Any questions? See me. Great. Everyone? Is everyone invited? Yes, of course. Did I not say that? Yes, everyone's there. You know, we've got food and everything. So, yeah, please join us. That's Kate, and Jack is back there if you don't know him. You will today. Okay, thanks. Love you. Bye. Get a toast, something to drink.